get us started on talking about how our friends out there that are introverts can start working a room to let go of this nervous stuff. And so let me tell you a little. I'm an introvert. I'm kind of a complicated introvert. But I'm an introvert. And when I was younger, it was so much harder for me to walk into any room. I'm talking in college on the first day of school. I really struggled. And you know what I did? And your skills, I'm sure, are going to be better than this. I had to have food or a drink in my hand to
That's
walk
how we
into
always do. I think
any room.
we're looking at what's on the menu. What are the hors d'oeuvres going to be? Because
Yeah.
that's where I'm going to be standing.
Yes, because it's something to do. It looks like you're busy. It makes you feel like I would take in a soda with me into class on the first day because I was nervous, and I would just bring it with me. It was like my friend coming with me or something. I don't know, but gosh, I wish I had better skills back then than having to take a Diet Coke everywhere I went. Or whatever, right? And so I can't wait to hear some of your tips so that we don't have to do these silly side things and we can be more professional about it.
Well, I'll tell you, the silly side things, if that's what helps you survive, then it's perfect.
It did.
Right?
It really did.
And they'll just start calling you the Diet Coke girl. Why do you say that? Because everywhere she goes, she has one with her. But
That's
this is
right.
my friend. This is how I cope. And I think it's fine. And I want everyone to know it's okay that we're nervous and we don't want to walk into a room full of strangers. And I really believe there's a lot more of the population that feels that way than there are those who are always comfortable and confident walking into a room. So it takes practice and it takes preparation for me even. And people, when I tell them I'm an introvert, those who know me agree. And those who don't say, really? I'm like, yeah. Because I can be extrovert, but I can only be an extrovert if I've prepared, right? So my preference is to be alone and by myself.
Amen.
That's when I get the energy. That's when I feel the best, right? But when I have to be around a group of people, I'm like stressing out, talking myself out of going. You know, I really don't need to go because I don't want to put myself through it, right? And then I miss an opportunity. So I'm going to share some tips that will help us think differently about walking into these rooms and going to these events, because we have to. If our business is going to grow or even to survive, we've got to do this networking and interacting with others outside of our office. Don't you agree?
I do agree. And would you take just a second to help people know who maybe are unsure if they're an introvert or an extrovert? Because some people maybe aren't as extreme as others, or maybe they don't know that maybe they think that they've had a problem, but it's really just because they're an introvert, and they don't know that that's why they pull away from certain situations. Can you give some ideas to people about what an introvert is, or how they would know that they're an introvert?
Well, I think it's funny that you asked that, because introverts are very self-aware, and we know that we are introverts. So when I go into a room, and I always can tell an introvert, because guess where they're sitting?
By the food.
And down.
Or alone. And
yeah,
down.
right? I always could tell, like, so, this is really freaking you out, isn't it? And they're like, yep. Yeah. So anytime that you're going to go to a networking event, you're heading over to the hors d'oeuvres, you're making sure you get your table, you have your seat, and maybe you're going to sit there and just watch. And I'm not a voyeur, but I like to watch people. Yeah. And I can sit in a room for hours and just watch the interactions going on between people and not speak to a soul, and I am good. So if you feel that same way, that being in a room, you may feel like a snob because you're not interacting with anyone, but then you get that one person who wants to come and tell you, come mingle, meet other people, and you're like, no, I'm good. See? If you've had those words, but had those conversations, you're an introvert, and it's okay, because it takes work for an introvert to feel comfortable walking into a room. Great. So let me just, we're going to do two things here. We're going to look at what to do before you go to the event. And as introverts, this is so important. And then what to do once you get there. And I'm here to tell you, if you don't do this prep work, then getting there and being there is going to be a lot more challenging, or it will continue to be the challenge it is for you right now. Okay. So first off, let's talk about what to consider and think about before you go to this event. And these questions and thoughts are really important. So let's look at the first one. So I want you want to do some research and find out who's going to be there. If you're looking to network where your target market is, then that you want to make sure they're going to be there. If you're looking to build relationships inside your industry, then you want to make sure those are the folks who are going to be there. Who's going to be at this event? And that helps you to understand why you're going to go. So I don't go to an event just for the heck of it. I go with a purpose and an intent. I know that either my target audience is going to be there or some influencers that I want to connect with are going to be there. By knowing who's going to be there, I already can understand what kind of conversations I can have. I already know that they have a certain level of education, or they have certain dilemmas that are key to what I want to bring to the table. Or if they're influencers and others who want to connect, I know what I bring to the table. So having all of that, having that internal conversation around why am I going, who's going to be there, right, is really helpful to get you jazzed and motivated about going.
Really great prep work. And let's add into that also, for some of the people who are viewing this maybe are not networking. It might even just be going to a party, or it might be going to a PTA meeting, right? I mean, this applies across the board.
That's true. Even a party, if you know the people that are going to be, introverts love small circles of friends.
Yes.
So we love to party with people we know. I'm not always comfortable going to like a large concert because right. I'm really anxious about who are these people and can I trust them, right?
Yes.
But if it's a small, intimate circle of folks I know, like, and trust, I'm going to go. So it's the same thing if you go to a PTA meeting. If it's smaller, you probably know those other parents and you'll be okay. It's when you get to those really large type environments where you're freaking out and like, I don't know if I should go.
Yep, really good. Good.
So here's another one. I love this one. How could you volunteer? How many times you've been to an event where it seemed like, boy, they need some help. And so if you can reach out and do the research, reach out to the host to find out, are there any gaps where they may need some help? Being able to volunteer is a great way to meet a lot of the people that are going to come to the event. And it gets you out there in a way that says, I'm here to help. And we love to help, right? So why not see if you can volunteer? And I volunteer as much as I can. I get on committees, and I do volunteer coaching, things like that. So they have already done all of the prep work for me. I just need to show up. So volunteering is a great way to also get ready.
I really, really love that. It just it gives you a foot in the door before it's even started, and gives you that comfortable security that, okay, well, I know the host now. I know the person who's doing the food. I know, and you come in so much better prepared. I love that tip. Thank you.
And people are going to come to you for information because you're a volunteer, right? So now you don't even have to worry about the idle chat. You'll always have something to talk about.
That's awesome. Thank you. Perfect.
So another thing I prepare myself for is what am I going to start that conversation? How am I going to start that? And I feel like this: whoever starts the conversation owns it. So I want to be able to drive the bus in the conversation. So I want to be able to start first. If someone else starts the conversation, they kind of run with it. So I want to own it. And I think about, how can I start this conversation? There's two ways to think about it. If you come early, your question can be, so what brings you here? And if it's later, say you came later and now it's at the end, all you have to ask is, what did you find beneficial today?
Oh, great questions. Yes.
So 2 questions focused on them. Why did you come today? What brings you here today? And what did you get that was beneficial?
I'm writing those down. Hold on. That's really, really great. And really great. And this whole preparation idea is fantastic because we can memorize 2 questions. Just memorize them and have them prepared in the back of your mind, ready to go.
Yes. And we have to think proactively. And if you get there on time, you may not have time to mingle. So that first question might not work.
Right.
But if you hang around at the end, then that second question will work.
Good.
So then, here's the question that I help my coaches with. It's like, okay, so you've gotten that whole conversation going on, and then it comes to the end of the conversation. So you need to think about what's that next step you want them to take. You don't want to give them, go to my website and sign up for my free. You don't want that. You want to be able to talk about how you all can connect. What's that next way you want to connect? So we're not doing any coaching during this interaction, right? We're just getting to know someone. And you're getting to know their story. And let's say their story is so interesting, you want to know more. Then what would you want to do next? So you need to think about that. If you heard an interesting story at an event and now they say, everyone take your seats, how would you like to close out that conversation?
Well, I'd love to just carry on, right? So it would be, let's meet for coffee, or let's plan a time to get together. I'm so enjoying our conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's as simple as it is. How can we get together to continue this conversation, right? Right. And if you're having a good time, and they are too, of course they're having a good time, they're meeting you. So
of course.
That's that next step. Let's figure out how to get together.
Yeah.
So these are the things you want to prepare in advance so that you'll know when I go in the door, this is what I'm here for. And this one is so important. How many people do you want to meet this time? It doesn't make any sense for us to go if we don't plan on meeting some people. And this way, if you say, I only want to meet 3 new people today, then you don't have to meet the whole room. You just have to figure out who it is you want to talk to. And the 3 people that you meet, you have 3 business cards. They've got yours, and you're going to follow up and continue the conversation.
And that's really great because I like to teach people to trick their brain a little bit. And tricking it would be saying, you only have to talk to 3 people. Because once you're there and you've talked to 3 people, typically more situations open up for you very naturally. Like the person next to the last person, or somebody comes in and joins a conversation, or the 2 extra people who came up to talk to you first. And so it's just a little trick in your brain that says, oh, 3 people, that's no problem. I can't talk to 100 people, but I can talk to 3. Mm-hmm. It relieves that anxiety.
It does. And you never know who's watching you interact with others.
Right.
And by the way that you interact with them will draw others to you. And you're like, no, I only have 3 and you are not one of them.
Great. Yeah.
Right. So it's, and so you got to have some fun. And as you're preparing, start to, I always like to laugh about those conversations that could potentially come up, and just have fun beforehand with the prep. So when you get there, you're already in this great mood and you're already smiling. And when you walk in the room, you show up like you should be there.
Great. More confident, and your fear is diminished. Maybe not gone, right? Maybe not gone, but it has decreased significantly just because of your preparation.
I know it works for me, and I do this every time before I go to any event. And I have my little checklist and my to-do and everything is laid out, so I know what I'm going there to do. And once I get there, I feel more confident, like you said, to get things done.
Which is also going to attract a certain kind of people to you rather than the ones that are attracted to you because you're standing there shaking in your boots, afraid to talk to anybody. That's going to attract a different type of person. And we probably want to attract the type of person who comes to us when we're in our confidence.
And wear the most cutest outfit you can get your hands on,
Awesome.
right?
Yes, of course.
I'm telling you, when you got the best thing on and you feel like Miss Thing, then, you walk in that room feeling like, ooh, look at me.
That's
Because
right.
when
That's
we
awesome.
look good, we feel good. And you throw some
Absolutely.
essential oil on and then you know.
There you go. Full package.
Which essential oil should I throw on to boost my confidence, do you think?
Oh, bergamot is fantastic. It's a citrus oil, and ginger is really great for empowerment.
Oh,
So
okay.
those two together are fantastic to really boost that self-worth and let you stand in your power. And that's really what we're trying to do.
And where would I put it? Put the
You
oil
are going to
on?
put those on in the middle of your stomach. So between your belly and your ribs. And that's the center of our self-worth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, will I be able to smell this throughout the day, or is it?
Yes, you can smell it for a while, and then you might not smell it, and other people will. So, depending on if you like it or not, you have to plan accordingly about when you put it on. So, and when it's under your clothing, you aren't going to smell it as much. So, if you like it, because ginger and bergamot together, that's actually a really pretty smell.
Mm-hmm.
You can put a little bit on your wrists.
Okay, so it's okay to put it on my wrists.
Yes, as well. You still want to do the stomach, but that just gives you that yummy smell. And it actually is a good conversation starter as long as you don't have yucky smelling oils on. You don't want to start that conversation. But
Well,
if it's
that's good.
pretty fragrance, somebody might say, "Oh, what are you wearing? What do I smell?" And they will say it if they like it. So there's another starter for you.
And then last, you want to make sure that you have great breath.
Very good.
Right? So get the mints going, brush the teeth, whatever, because the last thing you want to be is offensive to other people. I tell this to my husband all the time, like, sweetie, you might want to take one. Take two of these.
Two. Give an extra in an hour.
So make sure you have them, because when you're nervous, I believe when you're nervous, you get the dry mouth going.
Yeah.
And then you get the dry mouth, and then you get the bad breath.
Yep.
So keep your water nearby, and keep your mints there, and just keep it fresh and minty.
Awesome.
Okay, so we've done all our prep work. We got the cute outfit on. We got the mints going. We got the oils. Hey, we're ready to go. So now we show up at the event. Now, if you got all of this going on, you should already know. You can act like this is your party. And I find if I walk in the room and I can do that, there's so many people who are guests, and maybe the hostess can't be everywhere. I act like I'm one of the hosts. I act like the hostess. Like this is my event, and I'm walking around and I'm shaking hands. I'm making eye contact. People wonder who I am.
I love it.
This your? No, I'm just a guest, just like you.
I love it, though. I mean, that is such a fantastic thing. This is, again, power of the brain. Walking in with a pre-thought that you are running the event. This is your event. It's going to change. That's a game changer.
And seek out other introverts, because you know where they are.
Yeah.
Right? So go find them, and introduce yourself to them. And then we have a camaraderie. I hate these events, don't you? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, I know, because I see you sitting over here, so I came over here to see you. Now we're laughing. Awesome. And here comes an extrovert.
Who are not in on the joke.
You know?
Very fun. Yes, so yes.
You got to have fun. You have to come thinking, if you come in like you're the hostess, you're going to have a ball walking around there acting like this is your show. You want to make sure, now if we did the prep work, you've already got your open-ended questions. You've got your 2 open-ended questions. What brings you here today? Or what about today did you enjoy? You don't want to ask a yes/no question, because that stops the conversation short.
Really good.
Make
Those
sure that
open-ended
they're,
questions.
yes, yes, because those other questions are conversation stoppers. And then it's an awkward silence before the next person says something, right?
Yes, very.
So we want to avoid those awkward silences and come ready with these great open-ended questions focused on them and you learning their story. I love to go and find 3 life stories people tell me. So I know that I work with introvert coaches. I'm going to events where coaches are. I'll find some introverts in there. But I love to hear the stories or the journey that coaches made because there was a transformation somewhere in their life and I asked them, what caused you to become a coach? And they will tell me their story. So now we got a glass of wine and we're sitting down and we're talking about their story. And then they interrupt us and say that they're ready to start the program. How dare you?
Right. Exactly.
So yeah.
That's when you know you're doing things right, is when you don't want the program to start.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really
So
great.
you can see how you don't have to be an extrovert to enjoy these events. You just need to go prepared. And a little preparation will really help you to feel a lot more comfortable going because now you're in control. Nobody else is you can control all of this yourself.
Really great. And that empowerment is so important because we don't want to feel like we are a victim to being an introvert, because some people do that. And we want to step out of that because it's a strength if we make it become a strength.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We know when to have quiet time.
That's right.
We don't have to be everywhere. We don't have to know everyone. We are very discerning and we respect other people's space too. And because we want people to respect our space, we give that. But sometimes we can become too respectful and stay by ourselves and the world doesn't get to know us.
That's right. That's right. And that's a shame because there's some serious power going on in those minds of introverts, and we need that to be shared with the world.
Absolutely. I just love talking with my introvert coaches. They are such givers and they have so much in them that they are keeping to themselves, and getting them to bring that and share it with the world is always a challenge. But my goodness, when it comes out, it's like amazing. It's
I
amazing.
couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. Okay.
So here's one thing I tell. Here's one of the things that bothers me the most about networking events is they start throwing those business cards around. Come on, right? I don't want your card unless I feel there's a reason for me to have it and that I'm going to follow up with you. So I don't give a card or get a card unless I'm going to give them one of mine. But the only reason they're getting one of my cards is we had a conversation and I have a connection. So I don't do the pass the cards. I don't do that. For me, I'm going to share a card and get a card because I want to drive this bus. I'm not going to give you my card and leave it all up to you to connect with me. No. You need to give me one of yours. And if they don't have a card, I always have a spare where we can write their information on one of my cards. So that, some people aren't as professional as we are. They may not have business cards yet. So that's not going to be an excuse. I'm going to let that be an opportunity. Well, here's on the back of my card, write your information down, and then that way we both have an opportunity to reconnect.
Really good. That's really good. And it is part of that respect that we give other people and we give to ourselves as well.
Yes, I wish people would stop going to these events and just passing out all these cards.
I know.
Like, that is
I
the
know.
stupidest
Simmer
thing.
down. I like to say simmer down.
Yeah. What do they say? Slow down.
Yep.
Pace
Let's
yourself.
get to know each other first. It's about connection.
Make some goals for how many people you planned on meeting. 100 people today. You can't follow up with 100 people. So
it really is important to be selective. It's a process that's selective. We want to select the people that we connect with. That's honoring ourselves, really.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. And then don't spend the whole event with one person. Especially for my coaches, I tell them, keep it moving.
Yeah.
Because if you start talking you're going to start coaching.
Ah, really good. I love to spend the whole night with one person.
I like, because with the coach, they are now they're going to start coaching now.
That's
And
true. That's really
if
true.
you do that, there will be no opportunity for you to do business with them later because you would have solved what they needed at the moment.
There you go. There you go.
So you want to make sure that you, again, only talking to 3 people, but you're not trying to get them to adopt you. So you want to shake their hand, eye contact, ask the question, get them to tell you something, and then keep it moving. If there's someone you want to connect with later, that's when you can have more in that second conversation. But I tell my coaches, always work for that second conversation. If you say too much during the first one, there won't be a reason for a second.
Really great. Really
Move
great.
along, have fun. Go hit the food table, go get your glass of wine, go to your seat, just have some fun. And don't forget to follow up with folks that you collected business cards from. And if you only collect 3, you could follow up with 3 people, right?
Absolutely.
In the next
Absolutely.
week. Yeah. So you want to make sure that you can work that room. What do you think? You could work a room with some of those tips, right?
No, those tips are fantastic. And really, what you're doing is I just love the prep work. That's pretty much my favorite part of what you talked about, because if you don't do the prep work, you know what the chances are that you're either not going to go or you're going to go and sit down.
Absolutely.
And you're going to regret it. And regret is such a horrible feeling to have. And so the prep work is really the magic of all of this, because it just leads to everything else being successful. I mean, I've done this. I've gone to get-togethers or parties, and I thought, why did I even go? I was uncomfortable. I didn't talk to anybody. You know the feeling when you just want to leave. You just want to get out of there. And so I'm just really, really moved and inspired by this prep work that is so valuable to everybody. Thank you for all of that.
You're so welcome. And even when I go to worship, I have to prep before I go. So we have our magazine and what we're going to do when we go to worship. If I don't prep for my theocratic school and I just show up, I'm going to go to sleep because I don't have anything prepared. I'm not comfortable participating. So I have to make sure that I prepare to attend, even though these are folks I know, like, and trust. But if I don't prepare, now I can't engage and I can't participate. So this can work even in those intimate circles that we have. Come prepared to be involved and then have a great time.
No, I love that. It really is that preparation. It's like you're choosing in. You're choosing into whatever situation you're going to. I mean, I'm the person that sits in the back of the room. Even now, even when I'm comfortable, I sit in the back of the room most of the time still. And so, but what I do find is, like you just said, if I am prepared, I might be in the back of the room, but I start to participate. I stay awake. I enjoy what's going on more, and I have value to add. And that comes in that preparation.
Well, I can tell you, you can stay sitting in the back of the room, but only if you're doing it for observation and not for escape.
No, not for escape. It's a habit, actually. It's just literally at this point, it's more of a habit. I probably should work on that a little bit. But
oh well, it's okay.
It's
we
fine.
all have to have our idiosyncrasies, and that's I sit in the back when I'm at an event, but when I'm in worship, I'm sitting up front because I don't like distractions.
Okay.
But when I'm in an event, I don't mind distraction. Maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Okay, I was just going to ask you about this. I know you have an eGuide to share with everyone so that they can get a little bit more information about working on marketing or being in groups of people as an introvert.
Yes, and this is a great eGuide because it's like 5 articles that I've gleaned information from, and I love one of them is 23 ways to tell whether or not you're an introvert.
Oh, so good. Yes.
When you asked me that earlier, I was like, well, if you go to the eGuide.
No, perfect. No, that's exactly what I want people to see, because some people really don't know yet, and that's perfect.
And if you live with an introvert, it's also going to help you if you live with an introvert, because we have our own ticky-tacky ways of doing things.
Yeah. Okay. I'll print that out for my husband.
Yeah. And then to make everything full circle, I have a Facebook group just for introvert coaches, and that helps us come into the safe place where they can talk about their challenges with marketing and know that they're not alone. And we come up with some great ways for them to step out, or safe ways for them to step out into online marketing inside
Oh,
them.
that's fantastic. I am in that group. You have fabulous ideas and insights, and it makes you think, makes you start to rearrange maybe how you were doing things, and it's a fabulous group. I love it.
Thank you. And I love being in your group too.
Oh, thank you.
So I
Okay.
know that when we get together now, next Thursday at this time, we're going to be together, and you're going to be helping us with understanding how essential oils can help us in our business.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And we will cover some good information, and it all ties together so well because really our goal is exactly the same.
Absolutely.
So good to have you, Kim, today. And everybody, make sure you get that eGuide from Kim. It's fantastic. And then look into joining her group if that's a good match for you. And keep moving forward as an introvert because we have so much to share with the world. And
Yes,
you got to get that out of your brain and into other people's minds. And we'll all move forward together. Okay, Kim, thanks so much. It's been great.
Thank
and we will
you.
chat again next week.
Okay, girl.
Okay, see you later.